Hey, church. So yesterday we were reading the scriptures in Isaiah 37 about King Hezekiah laying out the threats before God. And so in that context, I've been reading this chapter and talking to the Lord and listening, and I always was puzzled when I see how many nations had idols or false gods, but in their false gods, they've always have like this image. And it's, like created. I'm saying like gold, wood, whatever, stone, some kind of a image. I look around and I see people have those today. Um, and it's just kind of mind-boggling to me that, people would have an idol, like thinking it's a god or some kind of power. And then I read the scripture here, and then I want to talk a little bit about what I'm talking about right here with the idea of the idol. And this is the prayer that Hezekiah laid out before God. It is true, Lord, that the kings of Assyria have destroyed all these other nations, and they have thrown the gods of these nations into the fire and burned them. But of course, the Assyrians could destroy them. They were not gods at all, only idols of wood and stone, shaped by human hands. So, obviously, Hezekiah is like, yeah, the threats are real because they've destroyed those nations, but they don't have a real God. And as I was reflecting on that, I was thinking, I know people have idols and images in the yards, and many people have idols, but they don't think they're worshiping them. But when we look to something other than God to give us power, peace, protection, etc., that's an idol. And I always thought it was weird that people would have those. And then I was thinking, well, in reality, the natural tendency of humanity is we want a God that we control. We want a God that's what we want, looks like we want, and does what we want, which paves the way for human-made gods. When we look at the Bible and we listen to what Scripture says to us, we understand that God is all-powerful, all-knowing, everywhere at all times. We cannot manipulate Him, control Him. He is who He is. And that is why the ultimate thing for you and I as human beings on this planet is to surrender our own sovereignty of the control of everything in life and understand that He is God and we are not. We are so blessed and privileged that we are His church, that we serve and worship the one true God, and that He loves us. I willingly and desiringly surrender, trust, and obey Him. Let's be His church.